It was more or less the calm before the storm on this Sunday afternoon at the Big A. No sun, an overcast gray sky, but it is the 1st of February. We keep trudging along, and we got today's 9-race card in with no problems whatsoever. It's Richard Migliore, Jason Blewitt, all of you here on Aqueduct Insider. It's just good, Mig, even though this is the end of an abbreviated week, to be back in action with a full card.
Well, absolutely, and the track was in super shape. I really thought today was the most fair track we've seen all winter, and it's such a tough job for Glenn Kozak and his crew to deal with Mother Nature and keep a good, fair racing surface.
Now, we get you out to Santa Anita first off the bat with today's headlines. Texas Red making his anticipated 3-year-old debut, his first start of 2015. And here's track announcer Trevor Demon off the quarter pole in the San Vicente.
Sampson in the white blinkers, Jazzy Josh between them, Serbian Cyclone at the rail. Texas Red in the red cap is running on late on the outside. Lord Nelson, even a late run from Bench Warrant. It's wide open. Texas Red now getting into stride. Texas Red on the inside, coming like an express train. Texas Red, Lord Nelson, Lord Nelson's going to keep him at bay. Lord Nelson beat Texas Red. Sir Sampson, Bench Warrant, Jazzy Josh, and Sir.
The big two both ran, but it was Bob Baffert with the second choice. Bob Baffert's 9th career win in the San Vicente with Lord Nelson. A good effort from both that colt and Texas Red.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to like about Texas Red's effort. Lord Nelson was outside. I think 7/8 probably suited him a little better. But, boy, you had to think, Jason, right here, when Texas Red knifed his way between horses under Kent DeZormo, he was on his way to victory. Kind of got in there, maybe hung just a touch. Maybe a race he's going to move forward off of.
Seemed to gallop out with good energy. A good return to the races, I think, from any way you look at it for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner of 2014. And Bob Baffert, a deep bench. Of course, he also has American Pharaoh and Dortmund.
Yeah, another guy with a lot of bench strength. We see a few trainers like that. Obviously, Todd Pletcher, Kieran McLaughlin, and Bob Baffert always has reserves.
Now, this week has gone both ways. We've had the elation of an unbeaten Ocean Knight, seeing Texas Red and Lord Nelson run so well just a few moments ago. On the flip side of that, and that's the way the game goes, ecstasy and disappointment seem to really get intertwined at times. There's been a number of high-profile 3-year-olds who have fallen by the wayside, the latest of which joining at least Mathuk and Leave the Light on this week, Calculator.
Yeah, I was really sorry to hear that. I thought Calculator's 3-year-old debut when he broke his maiden in the stake was just a terrific race as we're taking a look at it here. And a horse that I think would have had the right kind of style for the Kentucky Derby. But as things go, he did fall by the wayside. They're saying 6 months. They weren't very specific about the injury at this point. But it's a shame because he looked like a true kind of Kentucky Derby type of horse.
Yeah, speedy recovery. Trainer Peter Miller was pretty coy and looked like talking to Jay Pridman and not wanting to disclose the injury of Calculator for owner Richard Pell. But we hope he's okay and hope to see him down the road along with Mathuk and Leave the Light on. Now, Ocean Knight, all reports, he's come out of his win in yesterday's Sam F. Davis in tip-top shape. And Kieran McLaughlin, you talked about his deep bench a few seconds ago, Mig. Well, he's going good right now, and he's got a nice one here.
He's got a really nice horse. For a horse to come out of a 6-furlong maiden race to graduate into a 2-turn stake, I think is one of the most difficult things to do. And he did it with style. I mean, Ira Ortiz had to rouse him. He hit him twice with the stick coming to the 8th pole, and then he put his stick away and hand rode him to the wire. And speaking with Kieran this morning, actually, he said he bounced out of the race well. He ate up his dinner. He seemed bright this morning, and he's the kind of horse that's got the demeanor to handle what's coming, the big races with the atmosphere at the Derby and races like that.
Tampa Bay Downs, not an easy track for most horses to ship to. Having not trained over that surface and win and run big over an Ocean Knight was obviously up to the task. And up to the task is something his rider, Ira Ortiz Jr., has been up to lately, and Mig caught up with him earlier today here at Aqueduct.
Irad, you've been really going really well. You had 2 trips to Florida, and both times they canceled the races in New York, so you didn't lose any mounts. But you rode Ocean Knight in the Sam Davis at Tampa Bay, and now he's 2 for 2. What were your impressions of him?
Well, first thing I want to say thanks God and thanks Kiara for letting me ride those 2-year-olds right now, And he's a great horse, He's a very nice horse. He went impressive in here first time out, and we see how he went yesterday. He do everything right. I have nothing bad to say about that horse. It's a nice horse. Hopefully he stays sound.
Well, it looked like yesterday you had to get into him a little bit, turning for home. You hit him twice, but then you put the stick away. You seemed pretty confident you had the leader.
Yes, I talked to the trainer before the race, and he just told me, listen, you have the 11 holes, so if you break and you a little wild and try to be clean face. You can save ground too if you want, but I feel like in the first 10 I got a lot of horse. He just put me right there. I don't want to keep all the intention. They babies, you know. Sometimes when you fight too much, they don't give you the same run. So I let him run a little free, you know. Let him run, and he put me when he want to be. So he want to be right there. I leave it right there for clean face. And then when we turn it for home, I don't know, you know sure nothing when you pass the wire, but I just waiting for the horses, try to wait for somebody come from behind, you know. I got a lot of horse. I don't know if the horse going in the league gonna run that hard, but almost cost me the race because he gave me a good fight in the end.
Well, you're riding so good, so it's easy to be confident. Now, you're riding a lot of nice, just newly turned 3-year-olds for Kieran McLaughlin. Frosted, you're going to ride Classy Class in the Withers, and now Ocean Knight. It's going to be hard to make a decision which one to stay with?
Yeah, it's going to be very tough, but thanks God, and the good thing is the same trainer. The 2-year-old that I'm riding right now is for Kieran McLaughlin, so I think he's going to help me to make my decision. That's going to help me a lot.
Congratulations. Keep going.
Thank you.
There's a likable young man, 22, native of Puerto Rico, coming out of his most successful season ever as a journeyman rider, Mig, third in the nation last year in 2014 regarding purse earnings with over $20 million racked up, 290 wins. He won 16 graded stakes. It's a new year. He's got some nice 3-year-olds in the arsenal. What does Erod or Irod Ortiz have to do in 2015?
I think he needs to stay right on the track he's on. Don't change a thing. Keep the same focus, the same enthusiasm. He is just single-minded when it comes to his craft, and he's good at it. Now, obviously, he's going to continue to learn and improve with experience, but as far as his attitude and his approach, he shouldn't change a thing.
Steve Rushing, his agent, that guy does not miss a beat, one of the best in the business. He's gotten Irad into a number of different barns that he wasn't riding in on a regular basis, and he's a man and an agent, Steve Rushing, that has few peers when it comes to that industry.
He is just at another level, the way he handles his business, the way he conducts himself, and the way he's able to move riders into spots. Obviously, we saw him do it with Edgar Prado, Ramon Dominguez, and now Irad Ortiz. But let's put a little bit of this on the rider as well. He's got a good product to sell. Super
talented young man, very likable, and the best of luck to Irad, who we will see time and time again on this edition of Aqueduct Insider. 2 stakes wins at Tampa, a 3-win Sunday at the Big A. Let's get to it. It's the first running of the Franklin Square. Travis Stone with the call, and these are New York-bred 3-year-old fillies.
Outside, my Supernova racing out after that lead. Hard to say not go, didn't have the best of breaks, nonetheless, has come on through to take charge up the backstretch. Hard to say not go in front. My Supernova running in second. Sonora away third toward the rail. Graham Crackers is running in fourth. Enduring Touch is now fifth. Salute is on the far outside in sixth. Golden Gem in some traffic seventh. Majestic Jessica is eighth at about 5 lengths off to lead. 3 back to Nona Joe at the back of the pack. Out of the far turn they run 23 and 2/5 seconds. A loose lead for Hard to Say Not Go, who opens up 3 lengths midway around the far turn. My Supernova giving chase at a second. Golden Gem angles over toward the inside in third. Saluta's fourth on the far outside. Sonora's back in fifth as the field hits the top of the stretch. Hard to Say Not Go has opened up. 5-length lead, 3/16 out. Golden Gem has moved into second. Sonora toward the inside. My Supernova as they race into the final furlong now. Hard to Say Not Go with a 6-length lead and a 16th to run. Hard to Say Not Go. This race was over early on. From start to finish. Golden Gem will be second. Graham Crackers and Sonora.
Let's go back to the start. The number 8, Hard to Stay Not That Go. Not nimble out of the gate, but she made up for it with that blazing speed.
Well, she does possess a great deal of speed. Really good reaction by her to be able to save herself. Otherwise, she could have wound up on her head. She stumbled, but she's an athlete. She picked herself up. Went to get a bit keen. I like the way Angel Arroyo, though, just put his hands down, allowed her to get comfortable, clear off a little bit, and see how horses come back when they don't get into a fight.
Now, she was previously entered last Wednesday here at Aqueduct, the day we canceled with the snow, for $32,000. She was in for a tag. I wonder if she runs that day and we don't cancel. She's probably eating dinner in somebody else's barn that night, but we scrapped the card, and you know what? She was supplemented to this race, and a few days later, she takes the inaugural running of the Franklin Square.
You see, that's the genius of the Jerkins family, though. When a horse shows them you're doing good, they can change things up, supplement a horse, and get rewarded with a stake victory.
And Jimmy's got some good help, some good horses in the barn. His top assistant, Steve Moyer, was on hand and got the money in the Franklin Square.
Steven, this filly really ran big today. More like the filly that broke her maiden. If I'm not mistaken, she had a little issue with her breathing.
That she did, and we cleared it up. And she has a license to really like the inner dirt, and that's what Jimmy thought all along. We freshened her over the fall. She got good and sharp. We just had to put a little weight back on her, and she broke running today. I told Arroyo, just put her on the lead and go with her. And, you know, it's a typical rail job on the inner when the track's glib, and she just went on with it. But we're tickled to death. She's a problematic filly to train, but we're just absolutely pleased.
Well, it seemed to me today when she made the lead, she actually settled a little bit more than she had early on in her career.
That she did. As she's matured, like from 2 to 3, they tend to do that. That's what you want to see, you know. But she's fast, and that's what she wants to do. She wants to get on the engine and go.
Congratulations. Great job.
Thank you, Richie. Good seeing you.
Good seeing you.
Take care.
Steve Moyer breaking his maiden here on Aqueduct Insider. Good job in that interview with the man who is a great interviewer, Richard Migliore.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. And we've got a lot more racing action coming your way here on the show. It is Sunday 2nd. Travis Stone will take us through this 3-year-old starter optional claimer.
And they're off. El Deal mid-pack fires out first. Breach of Duty on the outside at a good start, but is losing ground as El Deal races clear. Opens up to lead by 2. Whatever You Want coming up the inside of El Deal. Here comes Whatever You Want through toward the inside to press this pace along. Watergate is 2.5 lengths back, running in 3rd. Opoji Bonesy comes away 4th to the inside, and Breach of Duty is wide and trailing 6 or 7 lengths behind the Speed Duel up top. Inside Whatever You Want, outside El Deal. They knock out a quarter in 22 and 4. 5 lengths back to Opoji Bonesy running in 3rd, Watergate in 4th. Breach of Duty is still 5th. 9 lengths behind outside the quarter pole. El Deal trying to shake loose from Whatever You Want comes off the turn, opening up now. So El Deal is off the turn with a 2.5 length lead. Whatever You Want switches back outside, a bit tired running in 2nd. Farther back, Opoji Bonesy and Watergate 8th pole. El Deal's driving on a 5 length lead. El Deal, much the best in here. Whatever You Want, chasing to the line, but no doubt about El Deal. 6 lengths in the end. Whatever You Want was 2nd. Watergate was 3rd. Opoji Bonesy 4th.
Dominating win out of El Deal, an unbeaten 3-year-old by Munnings, who's a perfect 2 for 2 and looked terrific. Did you like this race?
I really did. I thought this was a terrific performance, and you know, it really showed that his first race was no fluke, and I liked the way he dueled for the lead. You could just see his expression. This horse was so intense, and he wanted to win. And Andrew Lakeman does such a good job with his horses. He doesn't have a lot of horses, but he makes the most of his opportunities. And from what I understand, I don't know this is fact, they turned down a pretty good number for this horse after his first start. I think they did the right thing because a bigger offer is probably coming.
We hope that's the case. I had visions of this horse running on the Wood Memorial undercard in the Bayshore off this race today. Time will tell ultimately how good El Deal is, but today he was very impressive. A jaw-dropping performance, my friend, taking race number 2. Good to see Andrew Lakeman, that is, with the runner. As we send it to break, we've got a lot more action coming away. Solid group of 3-year-old maidens ready to battle. Chad Brown, Todd Pletcher, Bill Mott, a lot more here on Insider. Not too far off from the Empire State Building here at the Big A. After all, we are joining you from New York City's racetrack. We are set to go here for our second segment, locked and loaded from our second-floor clubhouse studios. It's the 5th race. Solid group of 3-year-old maidens as we go back to Travis Stone.
Liam toward the inside. Don't bet with Bruno from that outside post. Racing out after that lead, Jack O'Liam punches through toward the rail, so those two head of that first turn together. Net Gain comes away running in 3rd. Titanor's running in 4th, while Strategery is wide in 5th. Mr. Manolo sneaking through toward the inside 6th. And Money Multiplier's on hold at the back of the pack. So the field moves around the clubhouse turn. Jack O'Liam's in front, 3/4 of a length. Don't Bet with Bruno stalking right there to the outside second, 3/4 of a mile to go. Strategery's wide around that first turn, moving up into 3rd. Mr. Manolo's down inside 4th. Net Gain is running in mid-pack while 5th, just inside of Titanar, who's 6th, and Money Multiplier still at the back, 5 lengths behind. Jack O'Liam's first quarter was 24 seconds flat, heading for the half-mile pole, trying to extend the lead just a bit. Don't Bet with Bruno has been second throughout as they move on to the far turn now. 2 lengths back, Mr. Manolo Strategery. Toward the inside, Money Multiplier starting to make some progress and is sneaking through toward the inside. Limited traffic, though, is Money Multiplier. 5 lengths to make up, trying to come through toward the rail, and Net Gain's going to try and follow that move as well. So they round the far turn. Jack O'Liam head-to-head with Don't Bet with Bruno, 3/4 and 14 and 2. Money Multiplier with a big move on the far turn, right in contention. Third in the outside, top of the lane. Don't Bet with Bruno up for a narrow lead. Jack O'Liam fighting on. Here comes Money Multiplier on the outside, and Net Gain swings wide as well. Heading for the final 16th, Money Multiplier's got a narrow lead. Don't Bet with Bruno's fighting on toward the rail. These two locked in battle. On the outside, Money Multiplier. On the inside, Don't Bet with Bruno. Here's the wire photo. Too tight to tell. Don't Bet with Bruno or Money Multiplier. Farther back, Net Gain, Mr.
Rousing
Manolo.
end to the pick 5 and a battle between 2 potentially good 3-year-olds and Don't Bet with Bruno and Money Multiplier.
Yeah, this was a really good show they put on. Don't Bet with Bruno, very, very game. And he was emboldened by the challenge of Money Multiplier. And we talk about this often. It's sometimes better off staying away from a horse like that who you punch him, he's going to punch you back. Well, Don't Bet with Bruno still had a little bit of gas left in the tank.
And you don't bet with Bruno. He's the greatest guy, but the biggest mush I've ever met in my life. He was on hand today, got his picture taken in the winner's circle. Love Bruno, but I'll tell you, this son of Tiz Wonderful got a little revenge on the Chad Brown Racing stable because Don't Bet with Bruno lost a tough one to March here a few weeks ago. We'll likely see March this coming Saturday in the Withers, but that being said, out gaming the Klarovich horse for Chad Brown, Money Multiplier ran well, and this is a race I thought, at least going in, might have some stakes implications down the road.
I think these are 2 very nice colts, and Money Multiplier got a really good trip, saved ground under Kendrick Carmouche, came out to attack. Don't Bet with Bruno maybe didn't have as soft a trip, kind of outside the whole way, and then had to re-engage. I like the race by both horses.
And a few other highlights today, Mig, on this Super Bowl Sunday, February 1st, the sensational 6. Let's get to the calls and the runs of 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 9.
For the final furlong, Doc Danica shaken up by Jose Ortiz, but they are well clear. Savant back in second, a distant second at that. Chiali and Fictional Character, they're heading for the line, and this race was never in doubt. Doc Danica, tons the best. 16 on the wire. Fictional Character up for second. Then it was Chiali and Savant. In top of the lane, 100 Acre Wood down inside, Touching My Toes, JC's American Dream, Say 3 Hail Marys, and Piccolo Flats is grinding it out on the far outside. 1 furlong left, JC's American Dream, and Touching My Toes down inside. JC's American Dream outside, these two knocking heads to the wire together. JC's American Dream, Touching My Toes, JC's American Dream. The winner on the wire. Touching My Toes was second. 4 is stuck in traffic and behind, running in 4th, pinned down by Summit County. Down inside is Volastic hanging in there and trying to get a share. 1 furlong left. Star of New York has kicked away. Star of New York opens up by 2.5 now. NDC, Coelusive, and then Volastic, and down to the wire, Star of New York. A 4-length winner. NDC, Summit County, Volastic. Clear Night down inside. Unspoken between horses is the field. It's the top of the stretch where Party Time Chill has come on to take the lead. Miss Bellamy down inside second. Naughty Grace is third. Miss Lucky Lauren is wandering about the track in 4th. Clear Night is 5th. Toward the inside is Mrs. Sunday in 6th, but they're heading for the final 100 yards. And Party Time Chill has kicked away. It will be Party Time Chill by 5 in the end. Ended up tight for second there, Miss Bellamy. Followed up alongside of Pitch. These two off the turn together. Kleptocrat has moved to 3rd on the far outside. Sole opposition closing from 4th. Sharp and Witty is 5th. At the 8th pole, Mr. Rico is Valid has opened up now to lead by 2. Kleptocrat has taken over 2nd. On the outside, sole opposition farther back, Bella Facci, but down to the wire, Mr. Rico is Valid, the 2-length winner. Kleptocrat was 2nd, sole opposition 3rd, pitched 4th. Here comes Hold Everything on the far outside. Hold Everything up to put a nose in front, furlong to go. Ice Wagon is back in 4th. Kodiak Cody is 5th, heading for the final 16th. Hold Everything's got a tenuous lead. Eternal Bull Stalagmite. Ice Wagon on the outside with a final try. It is still Hold Everything in front. Ice Wagon can't get there. Hold Everything, 1.5 lengths in the end. Tight for second. Nice wagon.
David Jacobson off a trainer change from Bob Baffert, a private purchase. That horse gutted it out in the nightcap, in fact, and one of two in that race, Mig, going in. That was covered in the pick six, so no carryover into Wednesday's card. Obviously, we're dark here the next couple of days, but there was nothing dark about the performance out of Doc Danica in today's first, who did his impersonation of Big Red. I mean, this was a sight to behold.
This was. He was isolated from the start. 2 starts on the turf. Didn't show much of anything, really, not much speed or anything. Basically running off down the backside with Jose Ortiz, and I guess they found out what he really wants to do.
Yeah, no, this is a son of Exchange Rate, owned by My Meadowview Farms. We think of Samrad. He's got a lot of good New York breds and solid horses, Len Riggio.
Yep.
Rick Fowler Jr., he can do no wrong lately. Obviously has upstart in Lehigh 5, and Doc Danica going to get a fast speed figure, I think, looking at that big effort in the first race today. And speed figures, top figures galore for our favorite stallion standing in the Big Apple, Frost Giant. Here is your star in the afternoon, the winner of the first Franklin Square. Hard to stay, not go.
Yeah, flashing that multiple layers of speed that she possesses, and looked more like the filly that broke her maiden in Saratoga first time out. Nice to see her get the money. And much like the Frost Giants, she possesses speed, she's good, and I think with her pedigree, she'll like the turf, like the Frost Giants, turf or dirt.
He's the man, Frost Giant, standing for 10K, son of Giants Causeway. Eric Bishop, the man as well. Give him an email, give him a phone call. And Keene Stud is where Frost Giant is currently residing. As we check out the claims here, another Sunday down. It has gotten darker as we tape the show, and we're nearly entering the home stretch. 4 claims, Mr. Mig, on the afternoon.
Yeah, 4 claims, and some of the usual suspects. See, we have very similar trainers every day claiming horses. These guys are always active at the box.
Good to see them participating. We love the claiming game over the winter months here at the Big A, and it's a claiming game and track where we'll come back from after this quick timeout. Some of the faithful here at the Big A, we are, of course, among and amid a real working-class blue-collar neighborhood in South Ozone Park, Queens, and this place going strong from the late 1950s. Mig, the real backbone of the New York Racing Association circuit.
I'm a big fan of Aqueduct. I should have named my little farm Aqueduct. It certainly paid for a lot of it.
I'm sure it did. You've won a lot of races here at the Big A, both on the inner track and the main. And look, with only 3 live racing cards this week for the top performers, we searched far and wide, and we went down to Florida, to Tampa Bay Downs, in fact, to a colt who broke his maiden on the inner track in December.
Well, we feel like he's one of our own. He broke his maiden here on the inner track. He's trained by Kieran McLaughlin, a New York trainer, and this was a very, very strong performance. When I think of top performers, you know, we talked about Palace Malice winning the Met Mile in the Belmont, a horse that maybe we didn't mention as much. Sword Dancer, another horse, one of those greats that had that great double.
Well, there you go. Kieran McLaughlin, always good to bring up Sword Dancer's name. Accomplished a lot on the racetrack. We run his namesake, a Grade 1 turf marathon, every single summer, right smack dab in the middle of the meet up at upstate, that is, at Saratoga Racecourse. Speaking of Saratoga Racecourse, what about Saratoga Dreamer? He came up from Florida. Christophe Comant was here for a reason, not the season, and he was very determined winning the Rego Park.
It doesn't matter what time of the year, it's always nice to dream of Saratoga, and this is a very nice colt. Now he's won on turf, now he's won on dirt, and I like the way he did this. A little bit tough behind the gate, but did everything right within the running of the race.
Left his bathing suit, his flip-flops down in Florida, took a plane ride up to the Big Apple, was all business here. Once they loaded him in the gate on Friday afternoon, and he is back down in the sun. We hope to see him soon, along with trainer Christophe Comant. And what about Isabel? Coming off a 5, near 6-month layoff, in fact, here earlier in the week, and she took down a pretty good field first time out for Belmont.
Yeah, this was a very good field for a midweek feature. I mean, you really had to appreciate some of the fillies in there. Blakely had a tough trip, but you got to give Isabel the credit. She sat the trip, and she got it done, and you know, Belmont knows how to get a horse ready off a layoff.
In the Hall of Fame since the mid-'90s, his son Riley Mott, in fact, running the training show over at Belmont Park. I think Leanna Williford taking some time off. She's expecting her a second child, and best of luck to her. Hope she's doing okay. She's a top horse woman, but Riley Mott running the show. Pretty cool.
They've been with his dad for a while now, working alongside of him, and no better person to learn from if your dad's Bill Mott.
Irad Ortiz Jr., he'll get the hot jockey assignment on this Sunday edition of Aqueduct Insider. Currently, #1 in purse earnings in this country in 2015. 1.3 million and counting.
And he's going so good. When he's scheduled to ride out of town, they cancel the races in New York that day, so he doesn't even lose any mounts. And then he goes out of town and wins a few stakes and comes home. It's just great to watch him ride. A lot of fun.
Also got some help from the stewards, or the right call in my book, winning the Endeavor Saturday on the turf down at Tampa Bay Downs, in addition to the Sam Davis. As we look at the rider standings, we want to remind everybody, tune into the National Racing Report, 6 p.m. Monday and Tuesday right here on MSG+. We will recap the entire weekend of stakes throughout the country. But there you go with the jock standings. As we get on to the hot trainer here, Gary Gullo, real working class, blue collar stable, much like South Ozone Park, and he can do no wrong.
Can do no wrong. Everything he puts out on the track is running well, if not winning. And I told Gary in the racing office earlier today, I would consider coming out of retirement if I knew I could ride first call for him.
I'll tell you, everything he sends out just has speed, well-bent, polished, gate sharp, and getting to the winner's circle. I mean, that has been the story in a nutshell. And Gary Gullo, 12 victories, and he's batting well above 30% at the current meet. But they've all got to get around David Jacobson when the racing on the inner track is through.
Well, he has bench strength besides, so he's got a lot of support. Gary Gullo doing it with less numbers, but his percentage shows just what a good job he's doing.
Terrific stables, having a very strong presence in the Big Apple this winter. And David Jacobson, and regarding the owner standings, sits atop with 9. But Rapoli's stable might not run in that many horses, but had a nice maiden winner today with Don't Bet with Bruno.
And it would just seem appropriate if Mike Rapoli's stable would to take down an Aqueduct title. This is where he fell in love with the game, and he is originally from Queens, Aqueduct's racetrack in Queens.
And here's a guy originally from Pennsylvania but moved to Saratoga and has a horse named for the captain of the Chicago Blackhawks. It's Andy Serling with Wednesday's play.
Thanks a lot, guys. I feel like a moment of deja vu as we come on the 6th race on Wednesday's card. You know I love a turn back, and I know you guys like a hockey reference. Captain Taves is running in the 6th race. He's number 3 in the 6th race on Wednesday, and he ran too far last time. He is a closing sprinter. Now, he's had his share of chances, and he hasn't gotten it done, and these kind of horses can be at the mercy of a pace, but he's been a little too close to the pace, and he's had some trips and excuses in his races. If Angel Arroyo is riding him, can get him to settle in back, and there is plenty of speed in this race on paper, unless scratches change that, I think he gets the right kind of trip, and Captain Taves can make some noise at a very good price. I'm going to use him in exactas as well with a 7 American Progress off the claim for Rudy Rodriguez, but it's all about Captain Taves for me in the 6th race on Wednesday.
Captain Taves going to the cage here on Wednesday, race number 6. Hard to stay, not go. She was pretty fast in taking the first running of the Franklin Square. Steve Moyer, Angel Arroyo, a good job for the Big and I. Have a great Super Bowl. Dark the next couple of days, and we'll see you back Wednesday with the first race post of 120.